class, we've talked about staining your deck. In this video, we're going to talk about the first step you should take before you stain your deck, and that's sanding it. Preparation is very key, and sanding is really important. In particular, you need to sand out any rough areas, any splinters, any dirt, any mildew, things of that nature. And what we're going to do, we're going to take you through the two sanders that we use. One is the Festool sander and one is the Mirka sanders. And we're going to compare the two sanders, the similarities, the differences, and why we choose one over the other for certain application. This is Dan Frost from H.D.F. Painting, the fine art of painting. And this is Talk Shop with Frost. If you're new to this channel, welcome. Please hit the subscribe button at the bottom and make sure you don't miss any more Talk Shop with Frost videos. Okay, the first sander we're going to talk about is the Festool RO90. It is probably the only sander that I've ever experienced that enables you to do straight areas and corners. It comes with an attachment, a triangle attachment that you can easily attach to the sander and get into the corners. It's very effective. It's a dual mode sander. It has a aggressive mode and a fine sanding mode that you can use. You can switch right on the top of the sander. It's ergonomically designed, so it's very comfortable. And one of the most important parts of Festool is that it goes into a vacuum for dust control, which is really key. It's a 3.5-inch pad on it. You can use a bunch of different grit sandpapers. It also has, you can get a pad on the disc itself for areas that are a little rougher, and it's really soft. Makes for a really nice sanding finish for decks. Now the second sander we use is the Festool RO125. Okay, that's a little bit bigger sander. It's a 5-inch sander. So those are for the more open areas. It's also dual mode. It comes with an aggressive mode and a fine sanding mode. You can easily switch on top of the sander. It is also ergonomically designed, so it fits real comfortably into your hand. It comes with a guard on it for corners so you don't hit any siding, so that's nice. And that also is attached to a vacuum for dust control. So the RO125 we use on larger surfaces. Now, we have been a long-time Festool user. It's a German-made company. They make really fine quality equipment. Recently, we came across a Finnish company named Mirka that also has a couple sanders, and we decided to try those out. And we particularly liked a certain model. There's the Deros 550X, which is the direct electrical orbital random sander, and that comes with a lever on top for controlling the speed of the disc. And the asymmetrical design on it makes it really nice so you can use it with your left hand or your right hand. It's a really nice machine. Their sandpaper is of high quality. We'll talk about the sandpaper in another video. But we use that machine for large areas as well. Now the other Mirka sander that we use is the Deros 650 sander. And that's the same direct electric orbital sander, random orbital sander. And the nice thing about this sander is if you want to get some real productivity out of the job in a really large area, it's a 6-inch disc. So it's a similar features to the 550, the asymmetrical design, so you can use your left hand or your right hand. Works really well, good power to it. Has similar grit discs that you can use, and it's very effective on large areas for production and sanding. So which do we like better, the Festool or Mirka? Well, it depends on the user. In all seriousness, the Festool and Mirka are probably the best sanders that you're going to come across to sand your deck. Interesting enough, the big difference we would say is that the sandpaper, the Mirka sandpaper, is a little bit more long-lasting than the Festool Granat sandpaper. And you can use those interchangeably. You can use Mirka sandpaper on a Festool machine. You can use Festool sandpaper on a Mirka machine. So a lot of it is trial and error. You know, you try a little bit of sandpaper here, try a little bit there, and you can figure it out from that. The nice thing about Festool is their vacuum system, their dust extraction system. The vacuum we find is a little bit easier to maneuver. It's a smaller vacuum, and the hose system is a little bit better than the Mirka. So but you can put a Mirka machine on a Festool vacuum if you want, to make it simple. So those are basically the differences and the similarities. They both do a fine job sanding. It's just what you're more comfortable with. So you're not going to go wrong with either one. So when it comes to price, these are sort of the Cadillacs of sanders, to be honest with you. You're probably going to spend, close to $500, $550 for each sander. But let me tell you, it is worth it. It more than pays for itself on maybe 1 or 2 jobs with using that to sand your deck. So the investment is worth it. They're long lasting. They're very durable. You can't go wrong. You're going to have to pay, but it's very worth it. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comment section below. This is Dan Frost from H.D.F Painting, the fine art of painting, and this is Talk Shop with Frost.